Kevin Durant averaging 32 points per game this postseason.
Talked a lot about defense and a performance like this. Yes, it was flashy offensively, but what does it leave you feeling from a defensive standpoint?
I like our attention to detail. I like how we didn't get a lot of plays perfect, but we made the second and third efforts, and they didn't destroy us on the offensive rebound, so that showed that we were in the paint boxing out. That was an emphasis for us. But for the most part, we just did what we were supposed to do, went 2 at home. Now we got to see if this game is going to travel on the road for us, and we got to stay locked in.
Bruce Brown said, speaking of that, the series doesn't start until we go to Milwaukee. What do you think of that mentality?
I feel like that's every team's mentality if you got home court. We know how important game threes are, and we know that their crowd is going to be in it from the second we get on the floor for warm-ups. And we know their guys play better and more comfortable when they in there, sleep in their own beds and got their, the same routines at home. So, we got our work cut out for us, but we're looking forward to it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Bruce Beck with NBC New York.
Kevin, do you think your intensity is contagious? Because this entire team looks like they're playing with a laser focus right now. Yeah,
you got to credit that to the coaching staff. They do a good job of keeping us focused in shooting rounds and practices and not letting us slip for a second on, game plan, practicing. It's been that way, whenever we get a chance to practice this whole season. So you got to credit the coaches for keeping us locked in, and then I try to help them out when we in the locker room by ourselves and trying to, tell guys what I see and vice versa. Everybody just got an open dialogue out there and what they see, and we just try to correct it and follow the game plan.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Kevin, this is twofold. Specifically with Giannis, everybody can see what he's capable of doing, but in your mind, what were the 2 or 3 biggest keys to keep him from ruining and wrecking the game plan? And secondly, Bruce Brown specifically, what's he meant for you guys defensively? How contagious is his effort defensively?
Yeah, Giannis shot 8 for 15, 11 rebounds, 18 and 11. They didn't play much in the fourth, so he still did his thing, So we got to it's tough to stop him, so we got to be physical and do our work early and making sure we contesting shots and not giving them just anything easy. But Bruce just comes in and plays extremely hard, and like I've said earlier, nothing's going to be perfect, but guys make second and third efforts, they can make up for that stuff. So for us, it's staying focused.
I'm slide down a little bit.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey Kevin, I got a 2-parter for you on Bruce. It seemed like obviously he's been great in the short roll all season, but it seemed like Milwaukee's defense really didn't know how to handle him there tonight. Just if you can kind of speak to the impact he had for you guys offensively with some of the looks he was able to generate. Yeah,
like you said, the short roll has been there. A lot of teams in the pick and roll sell out to double team us, and we drop it off to Bruce, and he try to make the correct play. So he had great touch around the basket. He makes the right play, and he understands that position now. So we're gonna need more from him going forward.
And then just for either of you, if my memory is correct, he was playing pickup with you guys a lot last summer. That you guys have played a lot with him in the past year. Did you ever see a role like this for him when you guys first got him, or does this kind of come out of left field for everybody?
Me and Kai talked about it once we got Bruce, that we, playing against him the last 2 years, nobody really knew him in Detroit, but when you play against him and you got him in the scouting report, and he kind of disrupted our flow when I was in Golden State a bit one game. And I was like, yo, who is this kid? And he was a second-round pick. I didn't hear of him. I didn't watch him in college. So we knew that he played with extreme passion and intensity. And whenever he had got a chance, early on he wasn't playing for us, but whenever he got a chance, we knew he was going to come in and make an impact.
Ryan Maloney with the Associated Press.
Like that leave we feeling?
Obviously we feel pretty good just after 2, I felt like super sound efforts where we executed the game plan. We were sacrificing for one another, especially on the defensive end. It seemed like we were closing a lot of the gaps, and just the level of intensity and attention to detail, especially on the defensive end, probably some of the best, possessions, quarters that we've had all season.
Thank you.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, what's going on, Joe? I'm wondering if, as the competition gets stronger, as you go deeper into the playoffs, if you look at some of these teams that you're playing as kind of a barometer or a measuring stick for where you guys are, and to beat them by, I think it's 39 tonight. Just how do you guys feel after a win like this?
We obviously feel good, but at the same time, we know that, there's still a lot of basketball to be played. Now the whole mindset is not to be complacent or relax. It's to have the same level of focus and preparation going into Game 3. It's going to be a tough environment in Milwaukee. We know that they are definitely going to play a lot better than they did these last 2 games here in Brooklyn. And our attention to detail, our focus, all of that has to remain the same going into Game 3.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Joe, how do you guys explain the elevation of defensive effort? Is it scheme? Is it just effort? Or what are you guys doing to play such improved defense compared to the regular season?
I think a lot of it is effort, just a level of continuity where, I think as the season has gone on, we've improved on the defensive end, and that's just, just the ability to play off of one another. We've always kind of been able to do that offensively just because of the level of talent we have, but defense is, it takes time to get familiar with one another and piece it together where, everybody's playing so in sync that you're covering for each other. And, that combined with the fact that, high level of intensity, high level of preparation, and you have defensive efforts like tonight.
Tom Dowd with BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Joe, this was the historic offense during the regular season, and it feels like you guys have somehow kicked it up another level. What have you seen from you guys being able to even find another year there?
I think, honestly, a lot of the defensive possessions turn into really good offensive possessions. When we were able to get a stop and get out in transition, we're efficient when we're in the half court, but we're even more efficient when we're able to get out in transition.
Surat Sohi with The Ringer.
Hey, Joe. I was just wondering, what your thoughts are on why it is that you guys seem to hum along on offense pretty much no matter who it is that's playing.
I think we just have so many talented players on the offensive end, and we fit well together, the pieces that are out there. You take away one option, we just have a lot of counters, whatever, schematics you might be thrown at you. You just have a lot of capable players that play with a lot of confidence.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Kevin Durant averaging 32 points per game this postseason.
Talked a lot about defense and a performance like this. Yes, it was flashy offensively, but what does it leave you feeling coming?
Hey, Kyrie, you guys obviously don't have James, but did you think you could put together this kind of a performance against that good a team?
I think we're capable of greatness every single night. It just depends on the approach we have coming in. Throughout the regular season, I feel like we would let our guard down playing against some of the teams in our league, and they would punch us in the mouth, and we would come and talk to you guys after the game about what happened. And I think we've just figured out the little things in terms of how to create separation within the game and just remain resilient throughout. That's basically what it's come to. It's just remaining resilient no matter what's going on and sticking to our preparation and our game plan.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Harry, do you feel like there's something about the defensive scheme that you guys are playing this series that is different than in the past? Or is it just a matter of raising the intensity and the level of effort and help that you're giving each other?
It's the level of effort, our attention to detail, our communication. We're just really being there for one another on on the defensive end. So that makes a huge difference when guys are playing against us, and instead of seeing one body, they're seeing 2 or 3, and we're just trying to make our opponent think.
Michael Grady with Yes Network.
Hey, Kyrie, you and Kevin certainly have a championship pedigree. When you guys are locked in the way that you are, how does the crowd amplify that the way that this Brooklyn faithful has in the first 2 games?
I mean, we're just evolving. We're an evolving team, and that just includes everybody that's in our locker room and everybody that supports us outside. We just have all walks of life just supporting our team, and it's just bigger than basketball for us. So I'm just grateful that we're able to not only just entertain, it's a small part of it, but we're just playing for bigger reasons. And coming into our home floor, you could feel that energy. Like I said, it's just so diverse, so many different walks of life there. So it's always an honor to play in front of the crowd.
Could you pinpoint something, the way the game went, it may be the opening tip, but could you pinpoint something that kind of sparked and fueled things, whether it was a defensive possession or a bucket on the offensive end that really got the ball rolling tonight?
Yeah, I just think it was our pace. We were able to get stops, able to push the ball in transition, and capitalize off of a lot of opportunities we had with mismatches. We just got to continue to be mature with the basketball, take care of it, and just continue to do our parts out there. We're asking each other to be at a certain level, and it's just paying dividends for us right now. We just got to keep the same level of intensity, or just paying attention to detail. Like I said before, going into Milwaukee, it's going to be unbelievable energy, and we're just looking forward to the challenge.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Hey, Kyrie. I'm wondering if you've talked about the mentality of going into Milwaukee. Kevin talked about it. Bruce talked about it. I'm wondering if there's any teaching that you see to be done for folks who maybe are riding, we're up 2-0, but going into the other folks' house, or if you feel like that's an unspoken sentiment that everybody knows already.
I mean, it's the nature of basketball at this level. Being in the playoffs, understanding that the home crowd, it does make a difference. And people play a lot more comfortable when they're at home. They're able to see their families, they're able to prepare, they're able to get the shots in, they're able to weight lift, they're able to do the little things that keeps them in their routine or comfortable. So we just want to come in and just break their rhythm a little bit, understand that runs are going to happen. They're on their home floor. Those guys are looking for a response game, and we just got to be prepared. It's simple. The fans aren't going to come on the court and block anybody's shots or do anything, but they're going to be loud, and that makes a difference in our communication. So we just got to make sure doing those little things.
Thank you.
Barbara Barker with Newsday.
Yeah, Kyrie, on the first possession, you came down and hit that three. How important personally did you think it was, considering the way the last game started with kind of a gasp, for you to start this game, and make a statement about where it was going?
Well, honestly, I was just trying to start off the game with a good shot. It was good contest, from Giannis. But I just think, when we're getting the game started and we run a play that's designed for me to be aggressive, I'm just doing what I'm asked to do.
Ian O'Connor with the New York Post.
Yeah, Kyrie, your head coach just said that he sees no difference in the way Kevin is playing now as opposed to before his surgery. I'm curious if you agree with that assessment, and if so, what specifically impresses you about the way Kevin is playing right now?
He's just letting the game come to him, and he's playing it so effortlessly, and we're so used to seeing Kevin do that. So, wherever you put him in the ranking of the best players ever, or the best players playing our game, whatever, for us as historians of the game that we are, in terms of the culture that we protect here, in terms of brotherhood and the respect we have, we're just seeing him just continue to get better. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's just slow for him. The game is so slow. He's able to get to his spot and raise up over anyone. And when you have a 6'11" or 7-footer doing those special things, it kind of eases the possessions for us. And when you're able to do that, then it creates some problems for the opposition, because now they're playing on the heels.
Bruce Beck with NBC New York.
Kyrie, you talked about the team effort on the defensive end. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the unselfishness and selflessness of your team on the offensive end tonight. 27 assists, 36 points in the first quarter, 65 in the first half.
Yeah, that's how you play the game the right way. We're very special individually, but the selflessness, which you're referring to, is really what creates the difference. Defense is going to win us games down the stretch, but offensively playing the right way and trusting one another is those little plays that make the difference towards the end of the game, where we don't have to go for it all right then and there, wherever the score is. So, like I said, this team, we've grown so much, and we continue to do so. Obviously, we're missing James, and we're just filling in the pieces for him.
Thanks so much, Kyrie. We appreciate it.
Kevin Durant averaging 32 points per game this postseason.
Talked a lot about defense and a performance like this. Yes, it was flashy offensively, but what does it leave you feeling from a defensive standpoint?
I like our attention to detail. I like how we didn't get a lot of plays perfect, but we made the second and third efforts, and they didn't destroy us on the offensive rebound, so that showed that we were in the paint boxing out. That was an emphasis for us. But for the most part, we just did what we were supposed to do, went 2 at home. Now we got to see if this game is going to travel on the road for us, and we got to stay locked in.
Bruce Brown said, speaking of that, the series doesn't start until we go to Milwaukee. What do you think of that mentality?
I feel like that's every team's mentality if you got home court. We know how important game threes are, and we know that their crowd is going to be in it from the second we get on the floor for warm-ups. And we know their guys play better and more comfortable when they in there, sleep in their own beds and got their, same routines at home. So, we got our work cut out for us, but we're looking forward to it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Bruce Beck with NBC New York.
Kevin, do you think your intensity is contagious? Because this entire team looks like they're playing with a laser focus right now.
Yeah, you got to credit that to the coaching staff. They do a good job of keeping us focused in shooting rounds and practices and not letting us slip for a second on, game plan, practicing. It's been that way, whenever we get a chance to practice this whole season. So you got to credit the coaches for keeping us locked in, and then I try to help them out when we in the locker room by ourselves and trying to, tell guys what I see and vice versa. Everybody just got an open dialogue out there what they see, and we just try to correct it and follow the game plan.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Kevin, this is twofold. Specifically with Giannis, everybody can see what he's capable of doing, but in your mind, what were the 2 or 3 biggest keys to keep him from ruining and wrecking the game plan? And secondly, Bruce Brown specifically, what's he meant for you guys defensively? How contagious is his effort defensively?
Yeah, Giannis shot 8 for 15, 11 rebounds, 18 and 11.